Does it? Okay. Do the reviews matter for the movie?
Well, I think we've seen that the Star Wars franchise can certainly weather reviews historically, right? Phantom Menace was one of the worst reviewed films.
And worst acted.
From critics, I didn't say that, but from critics and fans alike, right? And the franchise did extraordinarily well for the prequel trilogy.
Any sign of Star Wars burnout? We're getting a movie now, whatever.
Well,
every year there's spin-offs.
Over-franchised.
You know, the way to look at it is compare the Star Wars universe to the Marvel universe, right? We've seen Marvel do a fantastic job of building audience, building box office through the series, culminating in Endgame, which was, had great box office results. On the flip side, the Star Wars films have seen reductions throughout the series, right? So the most recent trilogy, we've seen declining box office. The first one did $2 billion total. This next one did 1.3. This one, I think the estimates are 1.1. So we're seeing declining box offices through this trilogy.
Why do you think that is? Is it fatigue with the concept? Is it fatigue with, or is it that other franchises seem more contemporary than this one does?
Well, I think it's not so much fatigue. I mean, we've seen with the Marvel universe that, the number of films that have come out in that universe has been very high. I think it's the Marvel universe has perhaps it's managed differently, where you have these large overarching arcs that you see through the series, whereas Star Wars seems to have been more of an ad hoc production process, right?
And it's not like we're talking about box office flop here.
Of course not. Well, I think Solo was considered a flop. It only did $400 million versus Rogue One, which was at $1 billion.
But again, the best of them. That was a good movie. I had no idea what was going on, but it was a great movie.
Right, and then taking a step back, you have to realize that Disney's still a $300 billion company. So they've got the Marvel universe, the Star Wars universe, they've got Pixar, they've got traditional Disney. They have so many different franchises that.
How are the theme parks doing? What about ESPN?
Look, the theme parks are doing.
ESPN. I mean, you talk about streaming and the change of our job, linear television, cord cutting.
Yep.
Nobody's more impacted than what? What do they make per user? $7 per subscriber, whatever it is?
I think it's more like $9
more like
per
out of your
month,
cable
right?
bill, $9 goes to ESPN, theoretically, or at least split up with the cable company. That's what you pay for ESPN.
Absolutely.
How are they doing?
Well, if you look at Disney's EBITDA, something like $8 billion of their EBITDA still comes from the traditional pay TV ecosystem, which has all the same secular issues that other media companies have. And the market seems to be looking through that, focusing on Disney Plus, which is priced to be fantastically successful, but they have a core business that is under the same pressure, right? We saw 6% decline in subscribers, total pay TV subscribers. The real first big decline in subscribers we've seen in 2019, when we went from 100 million to, call it 93 million.
And you can look at a movie like Rise of Skywalker and say, well, it didn't do as well as maybe people expected it to. But then Disney is so superb at finding ways to spin money out of anything, basically. So they'll make money on its streaming. They'll make money on merch. They'll come up with a ride called The Rise of Skywalker, and it'll be successful and bring people into the theme park.
Right. I mean, you don't need to be standalone profitable on these. Obviously, it helps to be standalone profitable on the movie itself. But again, it just feeds the ecosystem, right? Where if you watch the Star Wars, maybe you don't like it, but it reminds you to go watch The Mandalorian.
Think about just the math. Okay, you cut your cable bill because you're mad at the price, right?
Yep.
ESPN's the biggest part of that. You're paying ESPN $9 a month, of which they get split. If you have Disney Plus and ESPN Plus, as I do, I'm now paying Disney $11 a month. I was mad about the $9, but now I'm not mad about the $11. Maybe because I have a lot more content at my fingertips?
Well, you have to
or is just nobody doing the math?
You got to think of the bundle overall, right? When you're cutting the cord, you're not cutting just ESPN, you're cutting everything.
No, but you're going to start to, it's going to add, there's our Peacock, and then you got, HBO Max.
Right. Hulu and Hulu, who knew?
Roku, Vudu.
Somebody should try to bundle all the streaming services together.
And put it onto a cable box and call it television. You're onto something.
Who would have thought?
Brett Harris.
Yeah.